That is playoff level basketball. This is the postseason, and this is the very first postseason show, and this is the postgame show for that game. Thank you guys for joining. We are back. Post games are back. We are live. It's time to go, and what a way to start. What a way to come back. After a game like that, after what we just witnessed, you see, there's a level, there's a difference in terms of what regular season basketball is and what postseason basketball is. And you see, the problem was the Pistons, who had a lead ending the third quarter, they thought the game was over. They had the lead. Nothing to worry about. There was nothing that was going to happen after the third quarter. You see, that's where the mistake happened, because there's a whole other quarter of basketball left to play. This isn't the regular season. This is the postseason. And that means when the fourth quarter's on, you got to play your best brand of basketball. And how did the Knicks start that fourth quarter? With some of the best level of defense that I've ever seen. How about 29 seconds? How about 29 seconds of Detroit not knowing what to do with the ball? How about turnovers? How about making Detroit look like they were playing a preseason game? Turning the ball over left and right. Steals everywhere. OG Anunoby, his defense. Credit where credit is due. Karl-Anthony Towns, his defense. He was playing people at the paint, inside the paint, holding them down, making them make bad passes, 24-second violation, block shots, getting passes in the passing lane, and then transition buckets after transition buckets after transition buckets. You forgot, Detroit, that you were playing a Knicks team that is battle-tested, has that playoff experience, and will never give up, doesn't know how to give up. And you know what we proceeded to do? This is what we proceeded to do. Something that the Knicks didn't do all season long. We didn't go on a 10-point lead. No. Not a 10-point straight lead. No. We didn't go on a 12-point run. No. 14? No. 17? No. 19? Close, but no. 21. Huh? 21 points scored straight with no answer. Captain Clutch available. He was there for the entire fourth. Josh Hart doing Josh Hart things. We had OG Anunoby. We had Karl-Anthony Towns. And we got to give him credit. One of the only bench players that came to play. Campaign, game-tying three. Campaign, shooting another three. Campaign, can't stop him. Give this man the credit. He was going off. One of the major reasons we took the lead. And yes, we took this game. We won this game. We stole this game. I'm going to tell you why we stole this game. But it doesn't matter, right? Because when we look at it, what does the current standing say? 1-0. Because the Knicks took this game, took this lead, took this victory, closed it out in the fourth, and proved to everybody why the postseason is different. During the regular season, this Knicks team doesn't close out this game. The postseason, completely different. Detroit, do you understand now why Jalen Brunson is the best player in this series? Do you understand why Captain Clutch is a thing? And for some reason, can somebody tell Malik Beasley to close his mouth? You angered Jalen Brunson. You know that, right? You did that. You caused what Jalen did in that fourth. and you caused the avalanche to fall on Detroit. It is 1-0 right now, and we are going to break down exactly how it happened, why it happened, and how this Knicks team did what they needed to do in the fourth quarter, closed it out, and now we lead this series 1-0. And what was that? Hold on. It's so quiet. Hold on. Is that the Pistons fans? I'm sorry. Huh? I can. Huh? Oh, they're just typing on their keyboards because that's all you can do, right? You can't say a word. This is Knicks Nation, Knicks time, our time, and the post game starts now. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on as well, too, because if you want to see me lose my mind and go crazy, you definitely have to be subscribed and have those notifications on. Without further ado, let's get started. The Knicks steal game 1 against the Pistons, and we do it in playoff fashion because we do it when the game matters most, when the game is on the line in that fourth quarter. Now, normally what I would do is I would break all of this down. I would give you my reactions. I would go to the images, the slides. I'd break down that information. But today's a little bit different. It's my first day back. We're in the postseason. I see the chat going off. So I'm going to go to the chat comments first before I do anything else. Now, unfortunately, YouTube is denying me from showing you guys any of these comments. For some reason, there's an issue on their back end. But you know what? No worries. I can still see it. And I'm going to go off as I see your comments. We got my guy Yuri, great moderator in the house. He says, we sunned them. I can't say what he said because I would not be monetized if I did. But you can finish that sentiment. June says, Malik a little puppy. Woof, woof. Malik a little puppy. All you do is bark. All you do is talk. And what did it do? You angered Jalen? You angered Jalen Brunson? Get out of here. Let's see here. Bessie says, Pistons suck. They do suck, and we proved why. Random says, 21-0 run. What can Malik say now? Malik can't say anything. Malik is running away right now. Why? Because all he can do is try to cause drama at the end of the game. You don't know what I'm talking about? Let me enlighten you. The Knicks, we're winning this game. It's already over. We're dominating. But what does Malik Beasley do? You know, he has so much haterade in him, you know? So much hater energy in him that what he does is, as Jalen Brunson is simply just trying to dribble the ball out, nothing else, he fouls him. He fouls him aggressively and gives him a little push afterwards. You want to know why? Because he's made, let's see, he's made of things that you can't find in New York. It's too soft of a texture. I can't describe it, but that's what he's made out of. You're doing it to Jalen Brunson. That's what you're made out of, because you're not going to do it to anybody else. You wouldn't do it to OG Anunoby. I know you wouldn't do it to him. That's what you're made out of, and you can't do anything else. So, of course, all he can do is talk. David West says, Dennis looks like a predator. Maybe he is. And you know what? In the game of basketball, all he can do is try to do things, kind of look like he can do it, and then never amount to much. You know, his entire basketball career. Oops. Shots fired. I'm sorry. I need to drink some water. I'm going to lose my voice. We got a member in the house. Got my guy Oron in here, and he says, Cat went crazy. Pistons are the most unexperienced team in this world. And that's going to do it for the comments for right now. Later on in the show, I will get back to the comments. We will go back to you guys. We'll break down to what you guys, we'll break down what you guys have to say. But going back to what our member Orion said, he's absolutely not wrong here. The Pistons in the playoffs are one of the youngest teams, inexperienced teams that we have seen at all. And you know what showed it? We saw it in that fourth quarter. Because let's break this game down a little bit, because we're going to talk about the fourth. We're going to break down the quarters. We're going to get to the shot chart. I promise you. You guys know how my post-game show goes, so we'll get there. But to start out this game, to be honest, it was neck and neck. But here's why it makes me a little bit happy. Even though the game was close, Jalen Brunson had a very, very bad first quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns, he didn't score. Landry Shamet played more minutes than Karl-Anthony Towns in the first quarter. And mind you, Shamet only played 10 minutes. He was pulled extremely fast. There's a reason for that. Late on defense, late on switches, not being able to really hit anything in terms of his shot. He had a couple of good plays, one good backdoor cut when Towns found him. We all saw that. That was a good play, but other than that, he really didn't do anything. Landry Shamet was ineffective in his 10 minutes. So I understand why Tom Thibodeau didn't go back to him really for the rest of the game. He did go 9 players deep, but when you look at the minutes, it was really 8 players. We'll break that down. Either way, though, the Knicks kept it a close game in that first. In the second quarter, it was a back and forth affair. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns finally give us something. But that first half was defined by the demon. OG Anunoby? Was Suni Lee in the house? Did Anne Hathaway make an appearance? I don't know what happened, but OG Anunoby was capable of going off against the Pistons. And it didn't matter. He was doing it beautifully. Fake the three, still shoot it anyways. Drive, penetrate, get to the line. Drive, penetrate, finish anyways. But that's not where he made his mark. He made his mark on defense. Cade Cunningham, when Cade saw Mikal Bridges in that first half, it was barbecue chicken. He was attacking him aggressively each and every time, by the way. Each and every time he saw Mikal, it was like a bull seeing red. Attack, attack, attack. Until OG started to be put on him. Now, OG started the game on Cade Cunningham. Then they started to switch. It was Hart. Then it was Mikal. It went back to OG. Then Josh Hart got into foul trouble. Then it was between OG and Mikal. And then with that particular lineup, we saw what happened. Cade Cunningham stopped going off, but Tobias Harris was going off. And he wasn't going off because he's an elite player or he's skilled. He was going off because the Knicks paid him no mind. Open shots, open threes. He really wasn't trying to be a problem. The Knicks allowed him to be a problem. More to that in a little bit because it was very easy to shut him down. We'll see why in the third. But in that second quarter, the Knicks have OG Anunoby to thank for why we were up even 2 points. But Detroit has Tobias Harris to thank for his strong play in that first half because Cade really didn't do anything. And Jalen Brunson, for everything good that he was doing, he didn't have a good first half. He was struggling a lot, struggling with his shot. He forced shot way too often, and he didn't look to pass a lot. And I didn't like that. As much as I like what Jalen Brunson did in the second half, you have to call it the way you saw it. In that first half, he didn't really do Jalen Brunson-like things, forcing his shot, trying to force his offense just a little bit. But thankfully, we came into the third quarter, into that second half, and we started to lock in. At least defensively, we did. We tried to at least. But here's the problem. While we tried to play great defense and offense in that third, and we started to get things going, Detroit had an answer. And then they raised their defense, and we didn't have an answer. We tried to get it going. And as a team, Detroit controlled that fourth quarter. And here's why I'm saying that Tobias Harris wasn't a problem. What did Harris score in the third? Was he scoreless? Did he have one shot go up? That's why he's not a problem. If you give him any defensive pressure, he turns into exactly what he is. Nothing. Not a problem, but really somebody who can become a menace if you give him the ability to become that. With Detroit, they started to lean on Cade Cunningham again because he started to get his shot going. He was aggressive, attacking inside, attacking Karl-Anthony Towns. He was aggressive. And that's why Detroit started to grow that lead. They were finding open three-point shooters. Another reason they started to grow that lead. They took control of the third quarter, and what did they end up scoring? Knicks 26. And then they scored 36 points. Now, I'm going to have to take a drink here because this next fourth quarter is where I'm going to lose my mind here. So excuse me for a second. Going back, that third quarter, we close it. We're down. It looks like Detroit's going to run away with this. They look more physical. They look more active defensively. They look like they're outplaying the Knicks. And, excuse me, and it looks like the Knicks do not have an answer. But Detroit takes their foot off the gas. They stop. They think they have the game controlled. And that's where they lose everything. And that's where the Knicks show you the difference between regular season and postseason. The regular season, maybe you look a little bit more defeated. In the postseason, all it means when you're down, especially down 8 points, 9 points, it just means you're a runaway from taking the game back. And you know who knows that? Teams that have been there before. Teams that have gotten there before. Postseason teams like the Knicks, they use that playoff experience. They locked in and they made sure Detroit understood that this game has another level. And guess what, Detroit? You don't have that other level yet. You don't know what it means. You wanted a war, right? You wanted to go to battle. You wanted to go to war. This is what war looks like. And you know why you couldn't handle it? You know why you couldn't take that next step? Is because you're not built for war. Your leader in Cade Cunningham sets you up for this. He wanted a war, but he doesn't know what war looks like. None of you do. But the Knicks, we know what war looks like. And war looks like a takeover in the fourth quarter. War looks like 40 points on your head. That's what war looks like. You don't know it. You don't know what it looks like. You think you know until you experience it. Until you experience that. And what you experienced was domination, a takeover, a blowout, a blowout. Something that the Knicks really haven't done all season long. 21 straight points on your head with no answer. No one on your team could do anything. Courtesy of Towns. Courtesy of OG Anunoby. And courtesy of Captain Clutch. And the Knicks use a dominant fourth quarter to take over, steal game one, and have this series 1-0. Shout out to S&Y for giving us the following information here. Final score, 123-112. New York, when it matters the most, takes this game. And you know what makes me happy? Excuse me, I'm going to lose my voice by the end of the stream. You know what makes me happy? Look at the game leaders. Cade didn't play good enough to make ESPN's game leader. You know who did, though? Jalen Brunson. 34 points, 12 of 27 from the field. Yes, we won, scored 40 in the fourth, and blew them out, essentially. Still had a double-digit lead on them, with Jalen Brunson not playing his best basketball. 8 of 10 from the line. Sure, Tobias Harris had his moments, had his scoring. You know, he scored most of his points in that first half. And then he was a ghost in that second half. Did nothing, just like Tobias Harris always does. But as you can see, quarter-to-quarter breakdown there. Knicks and Pistons, 27-27 after the first. And then in that second quarter, 38-30, game still very close. Third quarter, the Pistons, they take over. And then the Knicks show everybody what playoff basketball means. 40-21. What? 40-21. You don't got an answer. You don't got an answer. And I remember, what did the Pistons fans say again? What did you say? Who was better than Jalen? Let's see here. Who was it? Oh, yeah, Cade Cunningham, right? Okay, Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren, right? Right, Jalen. It's almost too funny to say. Jalen Duren was better than Jalen Brunson. Let's take a look at what Jalen Brunson actually did, though. Jalen Brunson, as the Knicks take game one, ladies and gentlemen, 34 points. Game high, by the way. 23 points in the second half. 8 assists. Shout out to Ian Bagley for giving us the following information here. Strong New York Knicks playoff debut for Karl-Anthony Towns. 23-11, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 0 turnovers in game one. Knicks outscored Detroit by 19 in the fourth. Went on a 26-3 run in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson, 34, 8, 1 turnover. He made 10 of his final 14 shots after a 2 for 13 start. So you didn't even get the best version of Jalen Brunson. You got an okay version of Jalen. You got a Jalen Brunson that really went off in the fourth quarter, in the second half. And we did that to you. You still weren't able to beat us. Honestly speaking, this was Detroit's best opportunity to steal a game from New York. What happened today, what happened during today's game, will never happen again. Jalen's going to have that first half again. That's not going to happen again. Detroit's going to play like that with the Knicks not being able to match that physicality. That's not going to happen again. They gave themselves the best chance to steal game one, scoring 36 points in the third quarter, and then gave up. Gave up the game because they thought they had it sealed. They thought they had it sealed. They thought they had that game owned. But see, that's what makes them a young team. Game's never over. It's never over. Even when you have a lead and you feel like it's over, you feel like you have the momentum. It's not over. It's never over in the postseason. You have to be ready every single second, especially for a quarter. The Pistons weren't ready, but the Knicks, as soon as that fourth quarter started, they were ready, not only offensively, defensively as well, too. And they did it with players that potentially you wouldn't think defense. You wouldn't think Karl-Anthony Towns right away with defense. But as you heard with Ian Bagley, he did play defense when it mattered. And Karl-Anthony Towns, first playoff game. I didn't like the first quarter. I can't lie. Hated the first quarter, but 23 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Yes, you heard me right. 4 steals. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, those 4 steals, they happened. Those 4 steals, not all of them, but most of them, they happened in the 4th because Towns was playing the passing lanes, playing his matchup so good and making sure he was never letting up. He was staying in front of his man. When they were going inside the paint against him, he was not seeking help. He was keeping his defender in front of him and not trying to buy them out. Hands all the way up. And that made the difference because in a physical series, if you don't try to foul and you try to do the right thing, you might not get called for it. And in that 4th, say what you want to say, but there is a reason we didn't see Mitchell Robinson. And that was because Karl-Anthony Towns was holding it down defensively, not doing exactly what Mitchell Robinson would do. I'm not going to say he was doing that, but he was playing very good defense. He was stifling inside, playing with his hands up, stealing the ball, getting turnovers, getting blocks, finding players in transition. And that's why Mitchell Robinson was not on the floor. Right there. Towns, his ability to pass, to find players open. Mitchell Robinson is so good inside, so good at rebounding, so good at getting those second chance opportunities. However, his game is a little bit limited after that. Towns, if he can play defense, getting the passing lanes and get that ball in his hands, he's a threat on offense and he can play make, making him more dangerous. That's why that lineup stayed out there in the 4th quarter, because it is dangerous. Josh Hart, it doesn't matter how you start, right? It matters how you finish. Closing out the quarter. 1-man fast break. He's not tired when everybody else is. He's running in transition, making passes, making plays, finding Jalen, finding Karl-Anthony Towns, finding shooters. The Knicks turned it on when it matters the most. And the Pistons let it all go when they had it. They had it. They had that game. Until the 4th. Until Captain Clutch. Until, who else was playing in this game? Oh, yeah. These two wonderful individuals. Campaign off the bench. 14 points. 11 in the 4th. 11 in the 4th, including the game-tying 3. 5 of 7 from the field, plus 23 in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes. You know what we just saw tonight? If you were hoping for a 9-man, and maybe we'll still see a 9-man rotation, Tom Thibodeau just made sure we only see 8 because Shamet couldn't do that. But Payne, he was able to. Now I hope that they still give him a chance next game. Go into the comments. We got my guy King Blaze, $5 super chat. I wish I could show your comment on the screen, but I'm going to try to highlight it anyways. He says, Knicks went beast mode. Experience matters. Real kings do real things. Woo! Is that a bar? Can I say that again? We'll say that again. Real kings do real things. Shout out to my guy King. I appreciate you, my brother. What a bar. And I agree with you. When it mattered, when the game was on the line, the Knicks did what only teams with experience can do. And what is that, ladies and gentlemen? Flip the switch and show them another level. Shout out to my guy, Jay Beers. He joined as a Rising Star member. I appreciate you, my guys. You have unlocked exclusive content. So if you go to the members page, you will see so many different things unlocked. And I plan to give you guys so much more content. If you're not a member already, I don't know what you're doing. Make sure you join this channel as a member. That way you join and you get access to all of this exclusive content. I promise you, so much more content to come if you're a member. But as I said, going back to the game, campaign in that fourth couldn't be stopped. And OG Anunoby could not be stopped as well, too. He was doing things that only OG Anunoby can do. And my guy, Orion, he has a membership for 3 months that he's given to the community, and I appreciate him. And he says, Cat and OG are the best for the front court and for the Knicks. You might be right about that. I appreciate you. We got so many things going on in the chat right now. My goodness. Shout out to Jay. Jay, he sent 5 Knicks Recap gift memberships to the community. Jay, man, I love this community. I love this community. I love the Knicks. I love postseason basketball. This is what it's about. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Orion. Thank you, everyone, for not only watching the stream, supporting, obviously becoming a member, or giving super chats, or just giving back. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. As you see, I am locked the you-know-what in for this postseason. And you guys, you're locked in too. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, guys. We're still going to continue here. Post-game's not over. I know we took a little bit of a tangent there because I had to shout out the community. But when the community is doing all of this, how can you not shout them out? How can you not give them praise? This is the place to be if you're a Knicks fan. If you're not already subscribed, you gotta be subscribed. Subscribe now and get in here. Get into this community because I want to hear from you. But Campaign and OG Anunoby, they did their thing for New York. They were doing it on a level that we needed. In the fourth quarter, with the game on the line, the dominance was clear. OG, by the way, guys, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks, plus 10. What is that called? Shout out to Knicks Muse. They defined it. That's called domination. That's called dominance. And that is what we saw from OG Anunoby. The way this man plays defense, he is stifling. I know we went to Mikal Bridges in that first half. He did okay. Maybe in the first quarter, he did okay. In the second quarter, you could not put Mikal on Cade. You just couldn't. And we got to be honest here. He was getting cooked. Cade was cooking him. He was dry. And I'm a Mikal Bridges fan, okay? I'm a fan. He looked for that matchup, sought out that matchup, and attacked that matchup. And the Knicks saw it. That's why, what did they do to clean it up? How did they keep that game close? The matchup that I loved. OG and, wait for it, Mitchell Robinson as the helper. As the helper. So OG is chasing Cade. And then his helper is Mitchell Robinson, who's moving side to side like this. Imagine a big man his side like this with OG in front of your face. That defensive sequence was amazing. We need to find more sequences or at least more opportunities to play these two together because it is money. I like the double big matchup a lot. For me, I would use it a little bit more. I think it has an advantage. I would use it a little bit more. I think it has clear advantages. But I understand why Tom Thibodeau didn't use it as much. And here's why. If you utilize that lineup, if they go for a block or a steal, or they try to go for a play and they go down, it's automatically, especially against a Pistons team that loves to run, it's automatically 4-on-5. Automatically. You always see it too, because they're running. And one of our bigs are always laboring back. Towns or Mitchell Robinson. That's why you don't see it a lot. And also with Mitchell Robinson, he's not going to play 40 minutes. I mean, he might play 30. I don't know if he's going to play heavy minutes usage throughout this season. Throughout this series. He'll play a lot, but heavy minutes, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Shout out to the chat again. Nelly, who's been a member for 5 months. So shout out to Nelly. They say, keep up the good work, salute, and appreciate it. Hey, listen, I do this for the community. I do it for you guys. I do it for everybody who watches every day, who tunes in every day, who gives me their attention every day. So you guys being a member, supporting the channel, coming here for your Knicks news each and every day, you guys are the real MVPs. All I do is make sure you guys have a place where you can engage with me, hear the content, but here's the biggest part. Hear the content with proper context. You know why I cover everything that I cover? Because if I didn't, somebody else would. They would cover it the wrong way, and somebody would get the wrong understanding of what that story is. And I don't want that to happen. That's why when they say Kevin Durant is coming to the Knicks, I can say, well, there's interest, but really, they don't have the assets. They'd have to gut the team. It doesn't make sense. You see where I'm going with it? That's why I do what I do. Just a quick reminder for everybody in the back who had those questions and was watching the stream actively. I appreciate you guys. But going back to what we were talking about, because Nelly, shout out to you. You gave us a great reason to stop the conversation by supporting the channel yet again with everything that you do. So shout out to you. I really appreciate it. But like I was saying, going back to what we saw this game, in this fourth, there's a level that we saw where the Pistons was not able to reach that level. They were not able to jump to the level the Knicks created to start that fourth quarter. They basically gave up around the 2-minute mark when they knew the game was out of reach. Cade turned that back up around the 1.5-minute mark, but by that time, it was too late. You couldn't do anything else, and the rest of the team got cold because they were just looking at Cade, hoping for Cade to really lead them, to really get them to the dance, and it was never going to happen that way. It was never going to be that way. You had to move. You had to do something else. They stopped, and that's why they got knocked down. They got beat down, and the Knicks were able to steal this game, and you have to love that. Let's move on here. Let's continue and look at some of the other stats that we have from tonight's game. And as you can see here, we have the players and some team stats that we can look at for tonight's game. And you know me, I love to break this down. So as you can see here, we have the minutes breakdown. We also have who didn't play, and we also have what these players did. Let's get to the players who actually did something. So 9 players used. Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, Brunson, and Hart. That's your starting, right? And then with your bench, you have Robinson, Campaign, Miles McBride, Landry, Shamet. Funny enough, Shamet, who played the least amount of minutes, was the first substitution off the bench at around the 7-minute mark in the first quarter. So he was the first substitution, but as you can see, he played some in the first, played some in the second, and then really was benched afterwards because he couldn't do anything else. He could not do anything. And that's why the Knicks needed to do something else in the lineup. That's why they had Miles McBride out there. They had Josh Hart before he fouled out. He's not fouled out, but, got into foul trouble. And then they had to put OG Anunoby. They had to put in some starters. So they had to put in a couple of other players. However, you see, even though Josh Hart was in foul trouble, they elected to go with Campaign, with Mitchell Robinson. They didn't go with the PJ Tucker. They didn't go to Achua or Huck Porty. Shout out to Huck Porty, who is available and active and back. But they didn't go to him. They didn't go to DeLon Wright or Tyler Kolek or Pacome Dadier. They didn't go to any of those players. And again, we're healthy, fully healthy. So they didn't play, not because they couldn't play, because Tom Thibodeau said, you don't need to. So that tells you this is exactly the lineup you are going to see moving forward. And maybe it gets even tighter than that. Maybe it goes to 8 players. Look at the minutes. It was essentially 8 players. Shamet played only 10 minutes. Everybody else, 15 minutes or above. That's 8 players. And that's what we saw here. If we look at the team stats as well, we see the Knicks did very, very good from the field, shooting 52% from the field. The Pistons, they still shot pretty good as well, 47.7% from the field. We saw from the three-point shot line, from three-point line, from the three-point line, we see that the New York Knicks shot 38.5%, and the Detroit Pistons, they shot 46.9%. Way better than New York, and when we get to the amount taken, they shot more threes than the Knicks as well, too. That's a problem, but we'll get there. But here is where New York shined so much. 11 turnovers to 21 turnovers. Now, don't quote me on this. I can't guarantee this is what happened. But I think about 10 of those turnovers happened in the fourth quarter. The sloppiest basketball I have seen from Detroit, maybe all season long. Some of those turnovers unforced. Some of those turnovers because of the Knicks' great defense. So we have to give credit on both areas. But the amount of turnovers, bad plays, bad possessions, bad shots, the Pistons gave this game to New York. Now, New York stole it by dropping 21 points straight, obviously. But Detroit allowed it to happen with no response because they don't know what it feels like. The Knicks, playoff tested, playoff experience. Detroit, when's the last time they've been in the playoffs? 2008? They don't know what the postseason feels like. Not this Detroit Pistons team. They don't understand it. And that's why you saw what you saw. Sloppy basketball. Because they don't have another level. They don't. You know what tonight proved? When it comes down to it, when the game is on the line, the Pistons, they can fold because they don't have a closer. Nobody on that team is a closer. The Knicks, they can stay calm. Why? We've been here before. Why? We have 2 all-stars. Why? We have a demon. Why? Captain Clutch. Jalen Brunson makes everybody believe, even when you don't want to believe. Even when your faith is shaken, he'll shake it right back because that's what he does. Turnovers and the rebounding battle, essentially close. I didn't like it too much. And that was really because Detroit was getting a lot of second chance opportunities. They didn't like that, but it is something to look at. Now, like we always do, we're going to go to the shot chart. It's been so long. It's been so long since I've done the shot chart. Man, this is so nostalgic. I love it. Let's go. Let's keep it going here, though. A couple of things stand out, though. Before we go to the shot chart, we got to go to the team stats because when you look at the team stats, at least the full stats, something should stand out to you automatically. And what should stand out to you is the number of threes taken and how many were made. 3-pointers attempted. Detroit 32, the Knicks 26. It may seem like a small margin, but 32 threes to 26, that's 6 additional threes taken. Do the math there, ladies and gentlemen. If they make those threes, that's 18 points. That's 18 additional points. We can't allow that to happen. And a lot of those threes, they were open shots. Knicks 3-point defense is a problem. As much as we want to give them praise, we also have to come back to earth here for a little bit. Their 3-point defense still is a problem, and the amount of threes that they generate is still not enough. They can still do better. When it comes to the free throw line, they were able to get to the line 17 times compared to the Pistons at 20. So still pretty close there. And we saw that there as well, too. I like the team assist, 26. You wanted to see a little bit higher, maybe 30, 32. That's the amount of assists we were achieving when Jalen Brunson was not part of the team. When it was Jalen Brunson less, we saw 30 to 32 team assists. I would love to see that increase just a little bit. Maybe we're not going to be able to see that in the postseason, but 32 assists, it would be a little bit more of my sweet spot for this team. But 26, that's not bad at all. And like I said, with the total turnovers, the Knicks were able to dominate in that stat, and I think that's something we have to understand. But the other stat that jumps off the page, points in the paint. Detroit, 46. Detroit 46. The Knicks, 62 points in the paint. Right when you thought the Detroit Pistons were going to dominate the paint inside, where they were going to take control, where they were going to be the team that was going to be able to take it to New York. That didn't happen, did it? Because they were doing that in the third quarter. They were attacking inside. They were trying to do it in the second, but obviously we played that double big lineup a lot of Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. So they had a very, very hard time trying to penetrate and create inside. They took advantage of doing that against Towns in the third, but the Knicks improved defense in the fourth, shut all of that down. They were not able to take advantage of it anymore, but the Knicks, they were able to do that, especially in transition and especially off of their turnovers. And they made their mistakes into exactly what the Knicks needed to take over this game, go on a 21-0 run, and be able to steal this game, take over, not only take the game, but take this series 1-0. And I don't have to tell you guys, when you are the home team and you are up on another team 1-0, you got to play again. You took a very good shot from that team, and that team had every opportunity to win, should have won, and let that game go. It hurts. For the team that takes the game, you feel amazing. But for the team that doesn't take it, you feel like you let everybody down, that you're a loser, that you can't hang with the Knicks. And by the way, Detroit, all of that is true. You are a loser. You don't know what the playoffs are. And you cannot hang. Let me say that again. My voice cracked. I got to do it again. You cannot hang with the bad boy Knicks, because when the chips are down, when it matters the most, New York can always turn it up another level. Can you? I don't think so. And all I have to do to prove it to myself is rewatch this fourth quarter. We're built differently in New York for the postseason. You didn't know that, did you, Detroit? You know it now, but you know it too late. Now that we've taken control of this series, we're about to dominate this series. And there's not anything you can do about it. This is our time. And this matchup, you thought it was in your favor. And now, after tonight, we showed you it's not in your favor. It never was in your favor. And it's never going to be. The Knicks, New York, we run this. We run this town. And now, you guys know, we run this series. And you can't do a thing about it. Believe that. Really quickly before I go to the chat, let's break down the shot chart. As you can see, the Knicks dominating inside the paint. Some threes, not too many. That's a problem. We need to generate more threes. However, we did what we needed to do in the fourth. When it comes to the Pistons, you can see it. They were attacking a lot, then they stopped. They settled for a lot of jump shots, settled for a lot of threes, and missed a ton of threes, a ton of mid-rangers, and they settled for a lot of shots inside the paint. And you can see why they settled for those shots, because they were good shots. They were able to get those shots. So it's not a surprise to me to see them, or at least see them able to do that and try to attack and get the Knicks uncomfortable. But I don't care that they were able to do that because they did it to a point until they couldn't do it anymore. Playoffs are different, and they learned that firsthand. And even though they tried to shut down what the Knicks were trying to do, it didn't matter when the game was on the line and the rosters came face to face. I don't want to hear about Cade Cunningham. I don't want to hear about Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, or any one of these players anymore. You know what I do want to hear, though? I want to hear why the Knicks are the favorites, why the Knicks are in control, and why the Knicks are now going to lead New York into the next round. And by the way, I'm not jumping, I'm not racing, I'm not looking past the Pistons. All I'm doing is understanding what we did tonight, what we're going to do in the future, and where we're supposed to be. And where we're supposed to be is even further in the postseason. Detroit, it starts with you. And once we knock you out, we're going to the next round. Shout out to the chat. We got my guy Michael Parker, a $10 super chat. Shout out to you. And he says, OG, all defense first team. Salute to the chat. Let's go. I can't show your comment on screen, but I hope I was able to do it justice. I appreciate you. Thank you for your comment. And yes, OG Anunoby, all defensive first team. You got my vote. Absolutely you do. The chat has been lit all night long. Everybody who's been watching, you guys have been lit all night long. It's been a pleasure not only giving you guys the post game again, breaking down everything with you, talking about each and every individual player, their breakdowns, what they've been doing, and how the Knicks were able to win this game and steal this game. Nelly, $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Their comment. We got the W. The Knicks are going to win in 500 and we got the and we got the Statue of Liberty emojis in the comment as well too. And you know what? How can anybody disagree at this point? 5? You know what? You're being a little bit nice. 5? I can see 5. I can see 6. But after tonight, after we just broke the Pistons, I can see 4 too. And what are you going to do about it, Pistons? What are you going to do? Yeah, I said it. We're going to sweep you. We're going to sweep you. Get the broom. Somebody get the broom. We're going to sweep you out of this series. You want to play? You want to play like that? You want to give up on the game when it matters the most? Okay. You showed your true colors, and the Knicks showed you ours. We're going to be that team that nobody wants to see this postseason because this is the team we're capable of being. A team that when it counts the most can flip that switch, go beast mode, dominate, steal games, steal victories, and put people on notice. New York is here. We are here, and we're not going anywhere. You want us to leave? You want us to get eliminated? You don't want us to be in the postseason anymore? Do something about it. Do something about it. Take us out. Take us out. You can't. You won't. You're not capable. Let the real ones handle business and do real one stuff and go on to the next round and leave the others, Detroit, who's not ready for this level to take it another step next year. to try and do it again next year, because clearly this isn't your year. This isn't your matchup. And this isn't your time. To steal a line from somebody who's going to wrestle tomorrow night, your time is up. And our time is now. We don't just want to beat you. We want to send a message through you. Did you pick Detroit to win this series? Did you doubt the Knicks? Did you complain about us? I don't hear anything now. You know what I hear? Victory. Victory when it matters most. Shout out to the chat. Got my guy Arnold here. Whoa. He didn't even say anything. My guy Arnold, $20 super chat just because. I don't know if it's me. Maybe something I'm saying. Maybe you guys are just hyped because I'm talking and saying words and you guys are agreeing. Either way, doesn't really matter to me. I'm just happy about it. Arnold again, $1.99 super chat. Appreciate that, and I appreciate your support. Again, I wish I can show the comments on the screen, but YouTube does not want to allow me to show comments on the screen. Let me just check again. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I wish. So you guys know I'm not lying. You guys know I would normally do this. Look at what I'm seeing. I got a purple monkey in front of my face. Detroit probably did this. Detroit probably hired this purple monkey with a hammer to not let me show the chat. That's what happened. I'm sorry. I wish I can show the chat, but this purple monkey bot doesn't want me to do it. I'm sorry. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to do. Purple monkey doesn't want me to do anything. But let's see here. Jay again. Jay. I love this community, by the way. My guy Jay again gifted another 5 memberships for the Knicks Recap channel. This is the time to not only be a Knicks fan, but to be in the postseason. Thank you. Thank you for the support, not only to the channel, but to, oh my goodness, I'm so hyped. Thank you for the support, not only to the channel, but also to the community. This is what it's about. I love this. And my guy over here, Oran, says, this is my favorite content. Love this community. Hey, I appreciate you. King Blaze, $5 super chat. He says, Shaq doubts the Knicks, but we all know he be hating. Chip time? I think it's about time for some chips. I think it's about time for some chips. And this year could be our year. I don't care what happened in the regular season. I don't care. You want to know why? This Knicks team doesn't do what we saw in the fourth quarter during the regular season. We wouldn't see it. This Knicks team is a little bit different for the postseason, as they should be. They have another level, as they should. They locked it in the fourth, as they should. They did what they needed to do, as they should. This is playoff basketball. This is New York level basketball. And this is what I mean when I say New York, we here, because that's the energy the Knicks gave me, all of you, and this city in that fourth quarter. We didn't do it for the entire game. Yes, I'm upset about that. but that game was competitive. It was close. It was back and forth. We gave them the third. They gave us the fourth and then some. And I'll always take a winning closing fourth quarter over anything else. This Knicks team is ready for the postseason. And if you had even this much doubt, it should have been erased after the performance you saw tonight. We ready for war? We're not only ready for war, we're ready for it all. Because after war, they always say, you may have won the war, but the battle has just begun. Unless you're the Pistons. Because this fight is over for you. I said it before, and you didn't believe me, right? You poked the bear. You angered the Knicks. We were already angry. We were already motivated. Everybody is picking everyone else except us. What are you doing now? Who are you picking now? Because now I think all the odds are about to flip and you're about to join the Knicks bandwagon. And you're not allowed. No. That line stopped. Stopped. Once we started the postseason. You can't come on this side. Don't come on my side. Stay on your side. You didn't believe, right? Stay over there. I don't want your non-believer energy. Keep your non-believer energy over there on that side. I like this side, the winning side, the Knicks side, the right side. Stay over there. I like it over here. And I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. You're supporting me. You being in this chat, watching the super chats, the memberships, everything you do on a daily basis to support this channel. It never goes unseen. It never goes unrecognized, and it never goes unnoticed. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for making my comeback to Postgame one of the better ones than I can remember. Now, unfortunately, because my voice is gone, and I know it's getting a little bit late, WrestleMania is on, you guys want to watch, I got to watch some replays and watch this whole other thing. I got to edit videos, edit shorts, drop content for you guys. The work never stops. But thankfully, it looks like your support doesn't stop either. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for showing up and showing out. The Knicks run this 1-0. We lead this series because we are the better team. We proved it tonight, and we are going to continue to prove it. And we are going to continue to prove it each and every single game for the rest of the postseason. But what about you guys? What did you think about the Knicks dominating the Pistons in that fourth quarter and winning this game 123 to 112? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.